player. I've been broke, it's a joke, I've been a money maker. I've been a record breaker, taking credit as an educator. I've been known to spit the flows and make it shaky, shaky thing. Popping, lock, and stop and let it hang. Watch us as we drop this hip-hop, it's like it stings. We make the whole room drop and everybody sing. We want the funk, we gotta have that funk. We kick it old school, we think we're so cool. We take it back to the past, we gonna act a fool. Enough jumps, the middle finger make my...
Hello, and welcome to Sports Buzz, a Fanatical View. I am your host, Scott D. Lewis, here live in studio, Comcast Cable, Channel 23, downtown Danbury, Connecticut, on this February 18th, as I look at Bob laughing at me because the light's set up. See, Bob, this is the secret, Bob. When you do television, you do radio, you don't point out the mistakes.
Oh, yeah.
I'm trying to roll right through this, and you're laughing at me. I'm just going to act like nothing's wrong.
Hey, this is like,
Look, it looks fine.
You mentioned what live television was in the 50s and 60s. Anything could have happened?
Well, we have a different light setup this week as we're experiencing
Can you hear me right now?
technical difficulties, but I wasn't going to point it out, but obviously I blew that. So anyways, we are here until 7 o'clock. I think we're looking fine. Look at the lights are, there's no problem. So I'm not sure why Bob's even worried about it.
You hear me
we're
all
doing
right?
great. We're worried about his microphone.
Not worried about my mic. Okay.
All right, are we ready to do the show
Yes.
now, Bob?
Yeah.
Great start. How you doing there? My right-hand man, Mr.
I'm
Bob
doing fine. It was windy out there today. Cold.
Very cold. Chilly, mid-February. Well, we survived that
It'll
deep
be nice
freeze.
and warm this weekend, I heard.
I know some people had some, pipes freeze up on them this
Well,
weekend.
I had problems with my car. Thanks for my father-in-law helped me out. My
I
car
wasn't
was,
sure. I didn't think the Jeep was going to start one morning, but it did. It took a couple of
It was frozen in on Sunday. I
We
couldn't
were
go
like
nowhere.
minus 15, minus 25
Yeah.
with the wind chill, and then within less than 48 hours, it was up to like 55 degrees.
Yeah.
So crazy, and this weekend is supposed to be quite nice. So that's nice. So Bob's show, of course, Spotlight on Tuesday nights at 9, Wednesdays at 12. We've worked out some of our technical difficulties on the internet stuff. I've gotten the Sports Buzz shows up recently, which I know our fans out there have been happy about.
Right.
Now we need to get back on track and get some of the Spotlight on shows back up there,
Yeah.
which we've skipped out on the last few weeks. Now that we're caught up with, the important show.
All right.
Sports Buzz.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Hey, soon we'll be starting Western Roundup. Speaking of which, this weekend
that's right.
we got the race, the 5K race.
Which means if
Bethel
you're
will
in
be
Bethel,
Yeah. From 9 o'clock till about 11, it'll be a little confusing down there.
anybody out there
Sports Dome.
that's planning on traveling into Bethel this Saturday would not be a great time to do it. Saturday, right?
Sunday.
Sunday. Oh,
Sunday.
Sunday morning. So don't come down on Sunday
From
morning.
9 till 11,
because,
it'll be.
traffic will be all snarled up big time.
Well, they're doing something different this year. They're having a kids race inside the dome.
Inside the dome.
Yeah.
Are they? Usually there's
yeah.
soccer games going on like crazy over
Yeah.
there. Maybe the soccer takes a back seat for the weekend. All right, well, we'll keep our eye on that. And the chili cook-off, though, is not coinciding with the
No, it
race
is
this
in
year.
April. It's going to be April 3rd.
I kind of like it when they have it together.
Yeah, I do too. But hey, things couldn't work that way this
Let
year.
me mention
so.
the phone number while it's up there, 203-792-4101 if you want to call. We are here till 7 o'clock. And it's a slow sports week, so we're open for conversation,
Yeah,
whatever you
because
want to talk
NBA
about.
is off.
Oh, hey, look at that. We have a delivery. Part of the Strange Man Stats of the Week.
Yeah,
That's
NBA
part
is
of the
on
trivia.
hiatus for
NBA's
their
on their
All-Star.
10-day break. Let's also mention Mike Toohey in the control room running things. Expose Cinema Friday nights at 9, Wednesdays at 1. We are taping his show tomorrow, The Olivers.
Oh, the Olivers, which is
His
the,
answer to the Oscars. And after we tape his show, I will be special guest on the Time Out with Kevin Gallagher show,
The evil
which airs
director.
Friday nights at 8:30. Yes, former evil director of this show. Friday nights at 8:30, Mondays at 11. We are taping 2 Oscar shows tomorrow. The first one will air tomorrow night, Friday night the 19th, and then the second one will air next Friday and the Oscars are next Sunday. So a week from Sunday are the Oscars. We got 2 shows coming up this Friday and next Friday.
Re-airing because I'll be bowling tomorrow night. So.
Oh, bowling! How's the bowling league going?
Good. We're in second place right now.
Very nice. What's your high score?
Fireman's League, huh?
What's your high score?
My high score is like a 415.
415? Wait.
That's
combined.
That's combined.
I was going to say, isn't 300 the highest you can get?
My highest is like about 160.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I'd take a 160.
Yeah.
Why not?
I wish it would be like that every week, but it doesn't always happen.
All right, well, we just saw Jenna pop in, so we'll say that Jenna is here.
Yes.
We still have not seen Connor, maybe because Connor with the bad behavior in the snowstorm. Is this the latest bad behavior keeping him in timeout? Look at this. He's got a huge snowball ready to put in Jenna's face. And there, Jenna is looking to defend herself. So they were enjoying the snow last week, huh?
Yeah.
All right. And McFadden is in there. And Strange Man is here as well. His voice seems to be back, recovering. I know McFadden's excited because the MLB is getting back underway. Spring training, some pitchers and catchers reporting down there. Also, I know the whole crew in there, including you guys, is very excited because, you know, we mentioned it's a slow sports week. So what else should we do but, you know, check out the swimsuit edition? Right,
that's true too.
So
and there's some beauties.
there.
This is from the Sports Illustrated.
Swimsuit edition is out. Pretty nice collection.
Who's the top model this year?
I don't know. They did 3 covers. Ronda Rousey got one of the covers, which I just don't get. I mean, I understand she was, you know, popular. She was all the rage in the whatever, that Ultimate Fighting stuff until she got her face bashed in. I mean, she got killed in that fight.
Right.
But still, she's got this multi-task career where she's doing, you know, modeling, acting, and the Ultimate Fighting. I think you just stick with the regular swimsuit models and get them on the cover. They're the ones that work at this and are obviously looking quite good. So, you know, anyways, if McFadden wants to turn the music up, we're going to go through this whole photo thing.
Right, yeah.
I'll just sit back.
The other thing, too, is I heard from my friends today in Florida, it's nice and warm. It's 80-some degrees down there. They're all getting ready for the races for Sunday.
Right. Well, Daytona is this weekend. You got, you know, MLB players and catchers and everybody reporting down there. Fort Myers, Florida, all over the place. Swimsuit, and we're still stuck up here in the cold.
Yeah.
But, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Wow, there was a lot of pictures.
Yeah.
Who brought those pictures in?
I don't know.
Who's in charge of the photos?
I think it's some guy.
This might be the last one. All right. We're done with that.
Okay.
So, anyways, you know, as we mentioned, you know, I have a couple things in baseball. We'll get into that over the next couple weeks.
Yeah.
With the Red Sox, you know, they got the new pitchers, David Price, Craig Kimbrell, and then the Hanley Ramirez situation. Is he going to be able to play first base? Those are your big questions there.
And
your
of course,
Mets.
the Mets have our big problem, or he's banned now from.
You guys, lost him banned for life. Well, you know, he wasn't much of a factor last year because of all the suspensions anyway. The former closer, and Familia took over and did a great job until he got to the World Series there, had some troubles, but the defense didn't help him out, really. So, you know, some stuff going on with baseball, but we'll get into all that. A couple other things I wanted to mention before we get to some of the other stuff, as we just ramble on here. Speaking of the Red Sox, there was a great event at Fenway Park this past week.
That must be interesting putting that together.
Yeah, it was a big air competition, which is a new Winter Olympic event, and they tried it out up there at Fenway. It was quite a show. It looks
like that was quite a high jump. I mean,
you can see where the top of the ramp starts is. It looks like it's equal to the height of the light stanchions.
Yeah, I was
which is way up in the air, up above the seating and everything.
I don't know if I could. I don't know if I want to go up that high.
But it was pretty cool. Julia Marino, who is from Connecticut, I want to say West End, but it might have been Westport. I believe it was either one of those two towns.
Right.
From Connecticut, though, won the Big Air Snowboard Championship So nice Connecticut representation there at Fenway Park. And Max Parrot from Canada was the men's champ in the snowboard. They did some skiing jumps too, I think. It wasn't just snowboarding, but it was pretty cool. And the photos, obviously, I thought were pretty cool, so we got those in there. And then another thing I wanted to mention, soccer. You know, speaking of Olympics, the Summer Olympics coming up. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to hold them in Brazil with this Zika virus going on.
Yeah, that might be they might have to move it.
That's got some people nervous.
Yeah.
Including some of the soccer players for the women's side. But the Olympic qualifying is underway. Women had a tough game against Mexico in their group stage. They did end up winning 1-0 on a comeback by Carly Lloyd. She had a penalty kick in the 81st minute.
Right.
The goalie stopped, but she got the rebound. I don't know how closely you follow soccer, Bob, but when there's a penalty kick, not in the shootout at the end if it's tied, but in the game,
right.
If there's a penalty kick and if the ball is stopped,
right.
It's live ball action, so a rebound.
It keeps going. It doesn't.
And Carly Lloyd got the rebound and tipped it past the goalie for the 1-0 win against Mexico. They followed that up with a thumping 10-0 against Puerto Rico. And how about this? Crystal Dunn from Rockville Center, Long Island. She matched the record for women, 5 goals in this game. She went off. She was a former Long Island High School Player of the Year. 2009, Newsday voted her the High School Player of the Year out of Rockville Center, Long Island there. So Crystal Dunn ties the record with 5 goals. Great effort by her. And the semifinal is Friday night. And if they win that, they are in. I think ultimately they even if they didn't win, they can still find their way into the Olympics. Couldn't see any possible way they would not get in. But ultimately, if they win the semi, I believe against Canada in Houston on Friday night in the CONCACAF portion of the Olympic qualifying, they will be in. So worth keeping your eye on that. All right, let's get to some other stuff. And as we mentioned, we're here for another 20 minutes or so. It's 203-792-4101 if you want to give a call and talk about whatever. I'm doing the Oscar show. Did I mention that already?
Yes, you did.
And if you wanted to talk about any movies, we'll do that. We don't need that. I mean, it's a slow sports week, Bob. I mean, the All-Star break is going on. I don't really care much about what took place. Most people said this was a good, finally, dunk contest. The dunk contest has been just terrible for such a long time. The All-Star game was an absolute disgrace.
Right.
196 to 173, Bob. They almost broke 200 points. It was the most points scored ever in an All-Star game, combined and individually by one team. Of course, it was Kobe Bryant, Shobi Defiant, and the Fake Show, his final All-Star game. A lot of people thought they were going to get him the ball, but unfortunately, Shobi doesn't have it anymore. He went 4 for 11 in 26 minutes, finished with only 10 points. Russell Westbrook was the MVP with 31, back-to-back for Westbrook. He did that because he won the MVP last year.
Right.
Paul George for the East had 41 points. And only in the final minute of this game did either one of the teams play defense, because he was closing in on Wilt the Still Chamberlain's all-time record for points scored. In the All-Star game, which was, I'm not sure exactly what it was, but he was close at 41. So in the final minute, somebody put the clamps on him and shut him down, so he couldn't break the record. But otherwise, no defense whatsoever. I mean, the teams used to care about this. I mean, it was always a free-flowing game. But in the fourth quarter, at some point, the teams would rise up and play a little bit of defense and actually play a legitimate last 5-7 minutes of the game and try to have an actual competition where somebody was going for the win.
The only All-Star game I watch is baseball. The other ones don't really make a difference.
The hockey thing, I have no idea what's going on.
3-on-3
the Pro Bowl,
doesn't work.
No one ever cared about that. And baseball is so convoluted now with the whole home field advantage.
Right.
That's a turnoff to me in itself, even though they're starting to play it a little differently. The managers are with pitchers and players going a little bit longer, which I like. So the dunk contest, Zach LaVine repeated, but Aaron Gordon, he did something there. this dunk right there where he jumped over the mascot, somebody in the science world did a research on that. He, with the height he got, would be third all-time for the record in the high jump. So basically, back to the Olympics, he could go into the high jump. He wouldn't be doing the Fosbury flop, but he could just jump it that way and go over the bar at close to 8 feet in the air. It's crazy. But anyways, and then the three-point shootout, Klay Thompson teammates, Golden State, the great players, great shooters, Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. Thompson out-dueled Curry in the three-point shootout. The other thing in the NBA trade deadline came and went today. Nothing of significance happened. A couple minor moves here and there. The NBA geeks will be up in arms, I'm sure, about the Cavs getting some guy and this and that and the other.
There was like a three-team deal.
Well, no, they didn't. Those big deals didn't go down, but there was some minor stuff that happened. Channing Frye went to the Cavaliers. That was, good for them, but still, it's going to be Golden State.
Right.
Championship to lose. San Antonio could give them some trouble. OKC maybe. Lance Stevenson went to the Grizzlies, and Jeff Green, former Celtic, didn't last long in Memphis. He went back to former coach Doc Rivers in LA to the Clippers. Those were the kind of trades that happened.
And of course, the Bricks and the Nets aren't doing or were doing anything before the All-Star game.
No, except for firing their coaches. Both teams fired their coaches. But again, we were here last Thursday, right?
Yep.
The night before was a Wednesday.
Yeah.
Celtics had that overtime thrilling victory against the Clippers. It's Thursday now, and they're not going to play until tomorrow, Friday.
Yeah.
I mean, how many days off do we need? That's 9 days, Bob.
Look at in baseball, we're only off for
it's outrageous.
4 days. How long is the?
I mean, this is almost is equal to when the NHL has to shut down for the Olympics,
right?
Which is a 2-week break. I mean, 9 days. It's more than a week.
Right.
I mean, come on. It's just outrageous.
Well,
there are games tonight.
The football.
Yeah.
You're down for almost a week and a half.
I don't get it.
The Pro Bowl is a waste.
And last year was the first time they did this, and we wanted to pay attention, and we'll do it again. How teams come out after the break.
Right.
When you take 9 days off,
right.
You're going to come back a little bit rusty. The Celtics were red hot. Mm-hmm. What's going to happen? Are they going to be able to maintain that hot streak they were on, or are they going to have to remember what they were doing before the break? So, we'll see what goes on, but I don't like that at all, taking such a long break. All right, we'll stick with basketball and go college basketball before we get to some NHL when we wrap this show up. And again, 203-792-4101.
How's the Huskies doing?
Up and down, Bob. I'd like to see more consistency from the Huskies, and at some point, you're going to have to get on Coach Ollie's case about this, because they have games where they have leads, like they did against Temple, 12-point lead with just over 5 minutes to go on the road. Tough place to play down there in Philly. But, they blew the 12-point lead against Temple, Bob. 21-4 run to end the game by Temple, and they lose that game. So that's not good at all. They did bounce back to hold on against Tulsa. They had a 20-point lead in this game at home in the second half. They win by 2, Bob.
That's
75-73. And Tulsa was coming off the huge win against SMU a couple nights before that. So the AAC has some things going on. I did want to get to the top 25 overall college landscape picture, too. Villanova remains number 1 in all the land, which I just find stunning. Let's look at the Big East for a second here, Bob. Villanova at 12-1, 22-3, so great record, right? The rest of the Big East, Xavier, 10-3. Actually, I think they won last night, so 11-3, 23-3, good record. After that, Bob, you want to check these records out? See what's going on in the Big East? The former great Big East?
Yeah.
Third place, Seton Hall, 7-5, 17-7 overall. Creighton coming in at 8-6.
What is Creighton? Where is that?
I think that's in Indiana, 17-10.
How are they in the Big East?
How about this, Bob? 1, 2, 3, 4. Fifth place, Providence, still in the top 25. I've mentioned my dad's favorite team, of course, 23rd ranked, so, I root for them.
Yes.
But hello, Bob, I've been talking about this. Why are the pollsters still ranking the Big East as a power conference? Providence is 5th in the Big East at 7-6 in conference,
Right.
19-7 overall, ranked 23rd. I mean, you got a conference like my Colorado State Rams comes
Right.
from in the Mountain West. Their first place team, San Diego State, not ranked at 19-7,
Who
12-1
actually comes
in
up with the
conference.
rankings?
I mean, why are these teams even bother playing if the games do not count? That's the bottom line. Georgetown 7-6, 14-12 is 6th place. Butler, why isn't Butler doing well? 18-8 overall, but 7-7. Marquette, what's wrong with Marquette? 5-8. And how about Chris Mullen and the Johnnies of St. John's? 0-13 in conference.
He might be getting the axe.
No, they're going to give him a chance because everybody does view it as a situation where the cupboard was completely bare when he got there. So they're going to give him time to rebuild.
About 2 weeks away or so from March Madness?
Close. 3 weeks, I think. So Kansas is number 2. They beat Oklahoma again. Buddy Hill, they shut him down, who could be the player of the year. This time he did go off, remember, in that overtime game earlier in the season. So they beat Oklahoma twice.
Yeah.
Iowa is 4th. North Carolina, 5th. But how about this, Bob? Losing at home against Duke for the 4th time in the last 5 years.
Right.
I mean, this is supposed to be a great rivalry. It's not a rivalry if you don't win. And Duke, now winners of 5 straight. How about that victory against Virginia this weekend? Duke had aided by the traveling call at the end of the game. Guy traveled, no call, and they count the basket for the game winner at the buzzer. Other teams, I mentioned Xavier. Xavier out of Big East is ranked 8th. Michigan State, 9th. West Virginia is coming in around there, too, at 10. Miami, how about a coach? Remember this name, Joe Larinaga, Bob, from George Mason fame. And what about the job? UConn fans will remember him because they knocked out that great UConn team from the Final Four years back. He's doing a great job down in Miami.
Right.
The Hurricanes at 11. Kentucky is ranked 14th. And SMU is the only team out of the AAC ranked at 21. And UConn gets their chance at them tonight. And we'll see how that goes. So Temple now is leading the AAC at 10-3, 16-8 overall. SMU 9-3, 21-3. Cincinnati. And how about this? UConn lost that tough game to Cincinnati early in the year, and they're going to have to go into Cincinnati this weekend.
Right.
That'd be kind of cool. Big, huge game. 9-4, 19-7. Do I know anybody who's going to Cincinnati? Maybe I'll catch a ride. Go to take a little road trip. This is a big game.
Yeah.
Wouldn't mind checking that out. Checking out the campus, perhaps, and see what goes on there. But UConn at Cincy this weekend, that's a big game. So, but they back-to-back, really. This could be make or break time for the Huskies to keep themselves in the big dance. Otherwise, if they lose to SMU and Cincinnati in back-to-back games, they could be looking at having to win out the tournament, conference tournament, which will be tough. But that game Saturday against Cincinnati, 4 o'clock tonight, 8 o'clock. So that's pretty much the college basketball scene right there.
Right.
We will get to some NHL now as we move on. Did I skip? Oh, actually, we got to get to Strange Man Stats women's stat.
Oh, okay.
I told you he's got a crush on what's her name there for the UConn women. UConn women.
Oh,
speaking of Cincinnati,
what's the tall one's name?
Well, Brianna Stewart.
Yes.
Speaking of Cincinnati, 88-35 beatdown at Campbell Pavilion against Cincy. Stewart, 14 points. He's saying right now that Gino's experimenting with the lineups, mixing and matching, but they have won 25 in a row. UConn trivia. All right, here we go. UConn's beat 101 unranked teams in a row. All were beaten by 10 points or more, except for one. What was the team? I'll give you a hint. This is on the women's side, but on the men's side, we happen to be talking about this team just recently. That's your hint.
Yeah.
So, and obviously UConn plays in the Big East, so maybe it was a Big East team that we were talking about. Maybe it was one that is struggling. Those are your hints. We'll come back to that in a minute. NHL, we got some more Strange Man stats. The Bruins at Detroit Red Wings, Joe Louis Arena. Brad Marchand, who's been red hot, Bob, scored 12 goals in 12 games. He scored a goal 8 seconds in off a face-off to start the game, fastest in franchise record for the Bruins. And that game the other night against Detroit. So, but they did lose that game. Actually, it wasn't a great game. They were up 3-1. They blew that lead to make it 2-1 as Bob deals with technical difficulties all around.
Because I'm not hearing Mike on the other end.
Hey.
How much time we got?
This show, unbelievable. When the lights go down, the audio goes down, the headsets go down. But anyway, so they pulled Tuukka Rask, which has happened far too often. Strange Man, I sure, is not happy about that. They were up, okay, so we're down to 3 minutes. Suddenly, I was waiting. I thought the 5-minute call was coming and going.
We've been having technical difficulties today.
All right, so I was slowing things down. Now I need to speed them up.
Yeah, so
they lost that game to the Red Wings 6-5.
Yeah.
But the Bruins remained 6-3-1 and in second place, a point ahead of Detroit at 68, Detroit 67 in the Atlantic. Panthers behind the ageless one, Yager at 72, Tampa Bay 64. Montreal has completely fallen off the map at 58, and Ottawa tied at 58 as well. In the Metro, the Capitals remain the top team in all of hockey at 86 points. And out west, the Stars are the second best team overall in hockey at 80. How about Tyler Seguin, former Bruin, young gun that they traded away? You think they wouldn't mind having him with his 30 goals and 33 assists?
Yeah, I think they would like to have him now.
Not a great trade by the Bruins there. Ovechkin for the Capitals leads all goal scorers with 35, but the Capitals at 86 points, but your Rangers at 70 points now. Tough loss to Chicago last night, though. Wasn't good against the defending champs after a big win against Philly, the Flyers, the other night. So they, are still doing well. Islanders right behind them at 66. They did beat Detroit the other night. They're up against the Capitals. And also the Devils also play against the Islanders tomorrow night, I believe. Pittsburgh's right behind them. So right now, Rangers, Islanders, and Devils all in. Pittsburgh, Carolina, Flyers out.
Right.
Out in the Western Conference, I mentioned the Stars, but in the Central Division, it's Chicago in second place at 79 points. So only 1 point behind Dallas. That's where the tough competition is out west. St. Louis at 75 points. 5 teams from that Central Division looking to get into the playoffs at Nashville and Colorado at 62. In the Pacific, the Connecticut kid Jonathan Quick leading the LA Kings to first place, but 4-6-0 in their last 10, so all of a sudden they are struggling at 69. And Anaheim at 8-1-1 in their last 10, coming on strong, catching up to the Kings at 66, so they are right behind LA. San Jose also 6-2-2 in their last 10 for San Jose. So the California teams are taking care of business in the Pacific. As we wrap it up, the trivia question answer? St. John's.
St. John's, okay.
There it is. All right, we are actually not going to be here this week as I break the news to the casting crew right now.
We're not going to be live next week?
We will not be live or taping. Hopefully we'll be in the week after. So we'll catch you then. Enjoy the Daytona. Enjoy all the other
race
things.
This weekend if you want to come
get on down and check out the race. And we'll see you. Enjoy the swimsuit.
Yeah.